Welcome to Primetime Super Friends, the show that's going to put the arrow in your quiver, the bat in your belfry, and the flash in your pan. I'm Jeremy, your guide to all things Star City. I'm joined by my very own super friends. First, our expert in all things relating to the fastest man alive, Michael.
What's up?
And our guide to the world of Gotham, John.
Hey!
Let's get this out of the way early. This show is going to be busting at the seams with spoilers. We'll be breaking down each episode of Arrow, The Flash, and Gotham, so if you aren't up to date on these shows, you've been warned. Without any further ado, let's get busy.
Super Friends, the legendary superpowers show.
First up this week, Michael's going to talk to us about The Flash.
Okay, so this week the show started with a group of friends gathering to watch the particle accelerator fire up. All I could think of during the scene was that Louis the Lightning Bug would probably freak out because the place these people picked was around a bunch of power lines. They were getting drunk while they were watching it.
The power lines were?
The power lines were getting drunk.
The power lines got all drunk and are feeling down.
These power lines have the blues cause they're feeling down.
We got the blues cause we're feeling down.
So when the lines are down, don't you hang around.
When we're down, don't hang around.
Sing it, Lily!
When lines are down, don't you hang around. When lines are down, don't you hang around. When lines are down, don't you hang around.
No, I hear him singing. That's awesome. One of the dudes by the name of Farouk decides to climb up one of the poles for a better vantage point. Clearly this guy is about to get charged up with electricity, become a metahuman.
I didn't see it coming.
No way.
No, I didn't.
I just thought we were getting introduced to 3 new characters randomly.
I just thought it was a documentary about why you shouldn't play with power lines.
We get another glimpse at Dr. Wells' secret room and learn that he has been tracking Barry's abilities using the computer and to look at various events in the future. Barry arrives at a crime scene to find that someone has been murdered. Via electrocution and burnt up in such a way suggesting that we have a new metahuman, of course, from the guy earlier, Farouk. When trying to find out the identity of the victim, they identify a power drain. Barry takes off, and when he arrives on the scene, he is attacked by a juiced-up Farouk that drains Barry of his flashiness.
Was this motherfucker's name really Farouk?
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Yes, it was.
Damn.
You have to cut that in.
It's later determined that Farouk has the ability to siphon electric energy. Are you all familiar with this character at all from the comics?
Nope.
Blackout?
I'm not. The name sounds familiar.
It's from
now
the
that you say
Flashpoint
that.
Paradox one, the alternate universe one where Wonder Woman and Aquaman are battling each other. Apparently he's a character in that series.
Yeah, I recognize the name somewhat, but I can't say I know much about it.
And apparently he's somewhat of a good guy in that. Anywho, so after Barry gets his powers drained, Wells goes back to his secret room and is pretty pissed off to find out that there are no references to the Flash or Barry in the future.
Run a complete search. Show any references to the Flash.
0 references to the Flash.
Look again.
0 references.
Show any references to Barry Allen.
0 references to Barry Allen.
Look again!
I've searched 3,452 times, Dr. Wells. There's nothing.
Wells believes Barry just needs a jump start to regain his abilities, and while trying to help him, Farouk shows up to get revenge on Dr. Wells due to his friends dying when the accelerator went crazy. At one point, Dr. Wells releases Girder. He releases Girder to kill Farouk. Doesn't really work out as he wanted because Girder gets toasted. Wells realizes that Barry's got some issues on a psychological level, and when Dr. Wells' life is in danger from Farouk later on, Barry snaps to, gets all flashed up, and stops Farouk by overloading him with energy. There was a line that Caitlin said that I don't know if I would have thought No, I probably would have thought this because I've always been perverted, but she pretty much tells Barry that he choked on him.
It's almost like he choked on you.
She says that Farouk choked on him, and
I get it.
instantly cock jokes.
Yeah.
While all this is going on, we did have another storyline, which I thought it was kind of throwaway to me. I didn't. Do you know is that guy a character from the books?
That was the Clock King, from Batman.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That was at the police station holding everybody up. Eddie.
He'd been in Arrow.
He was in
right?
Arrow
Yeah.
last season.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Same guy, same.
Yeah, same
Yep.
actor. Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, I don't know if you caught it. He was being transferred from the jail in Star City to Central City,
I did not catch that.
and that's when he busted out.
Well, shit, I would have had a lot more interest in that if I would have known that, because I kind of wrote that whole part off. But Eddie got shot from him. He gets all doped up in the hospital. It was funny to see him on drugs. You did have a scene with Barry, or in his flash gear, and Iris, kind of they're going to wind up fucking later on. A little touching moment between the two.
Super fast.
And then at the end of the episode, Dr. Wells takes a sample of blood from Farouk, who Cisco nicknamed Blackout during the episode, to try to determine why or how he absorbed the powers from Barry.
So, back to them fucking. Like, if he came really quick, he could just regenerate real fast, right? And she'd never even know.
Oh my God! I'm sorry! I can't stop coming! I'm sorry! Oh, it feels so good!
Wow, I feel like that was a conversation that would have been in Clerks. Or not Clerks, Mallrats.
It does it instantly turn into a baby? Like the super
Oh,
semen?
You got fuck.
Oh,
Well,
I
but she
don't
doesn't have
think
flash
so.
powers, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's just like a super healing power. He's just
Yeah.
ready to go again.
Right.
So he's just constantly overloading her with cum. It's just nonstop.
Just filling her up. She has the world's first, set of 96 babies or whatever.
Or it's like they get married and have kids or whatever, and she's like, I got pregnant on the first time, but it was really like the 30th time.
And he's just like,
To who? Who else would he?
to the camera.
Oh, okay.
So is his face just nonstop vinegar strokes the whole time that he's fucking her?
He vibrates his face so you can't see it. Yes, I think it would be.
That took a really weird turn. The fact that you made us backtrack for that conversation.
Kudos, sir.
Gotta make this shit interesting. After all, he did choke a motherfucker.
It's so bad. Just forgot everything that was happening. It's like, dick joke. But I really liked that part of it, the whole flash side, but the other part just wasn't that interesting for me this week.
It was definitely like a side story for the sake of having a side story.
And we get our, we don't have an episode of Arrow this week, by the way, because it was the day before Thanksgiving. I guess they decided not to bother. But we've got our crossover next week.
And how are they doing that? Is it just going to be...
It's a 2-night thing.
Okay.
First part on Tuesday during the Flash, second part during Arrow on Wednesday.
Right on.
That'll be good.
That's awesome.
Yep. So that's going to wrap it up for the Flash for this week. Like I said, there was no Arrow this week, so we're just going to get straight to Gotham. John?
All right, so this week our villain of the week was Copperhead. Did they ever outright name her in that?
But she slithered like a snake and stuck her tongue out.
Yeah, so I actually didn't find this one very annoying, but, also wasn't all that memorable either, but I was good with that. The real story this week takes place as we see Wayne Manor from the outside. There's an outside, so there is more of it than just one room, but that's just where Bruce hangs out.
We don't know that's Wayne Manor.
Well, where else was it?
I don't know. It just looked too big to be that one room.
It's like the reverse TARDIS. It's smaller on the inside.
I just think of buttholes.
I do too.
And I think of sex positions and shit. That just ruins Doctor Who.
Why sex positions?
Reverse TARDIS.
Reverse TARDIS.
Absolutely. It does.
Yeah, we'd already had the reverse Narnia. So that makes sense. Okay.
Except everything was yellow on that.
Yeah. Anyways, we see that Copperhead and her little lackeys sneak into Wayne Manor. Alfred gets duped into letting her in, thinking she's been in a car wreck. And that's where the story really takes off. This week we saw what was essentially the Bullock and Alfred Power Hour, which was cool to me. I think I'd prefer that show over the Jim Gordon and Bullock show. Alfred seemed to kick a lot more ass in a more fun way of doing it.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite moment.
He was a very polite ass kicker.
Yes, and amazing at it, though. It's very charming. I like this guy. So anyways, he takes a bullet as basically somebody's a target of a hit. We don't know if it's Bruce, we don't know if it's Selina, and we don't know exactly who's set this whole thing up. The kids end up running from the manor, and it leads to Alfred and Bullock trying to track him down. Selina and Bruce this week, again, I thought the story was pretty good, kind of following the last week's relationship building of the two. Still has that awkward kind of I want to kiss you thing.
Baby, I can pay you to a kiss from a rose on the grave.
I'm sorry, you thought it was good?
I thought it was it's better than a lot of the show has been. You hated it all, really?
Fucking terrible.
Cheesy.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely cheesy.
It was like an Oliver Twist romance.
I feel like it could have been worse. I don't know. Like, if they're going to give a story and we're going to have Bruce and we're going to have her in it, it could have been worse to me anyways.
Okay. I could go take a big fiery dump right now, and that could probably be worse, but it's still shit.
Oh, damn.
I find it hard to argue with that. Long story short with that, it leads to a lot of running across rooftops, which, I guess that's how Bruce learned to do that. She also taught him how to balance early in the episode, which that was another throwaway scene. It involves them getting into the city and her teaching him how to, what the streets are like in comparison to his little rich kid life. We find out that the reason all of this is going on is the information that Harvey Dent had last week had been leaked out, and they knew that Selina was the witness. Do you guys hate Harvey Dent in this as much as I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered that
Once
last
again,
time.
his face is half shadowed.
Well,
ridiculous.
I think what really got me is it's like this guy is a blundering lawyer. Like, he is not good at what he's trying to do. So to me, it's like this should have been the character that you have this season, and then next season, if they want to bring in Harvey Dent, a good lawyer comes in to replace this guy in comparison, and instead we just have this guy blundering through the whole thing.
They're just raping that character.
Yeah.
And rape is bad.
It's awful, and I don't like the guy's acting that plays him. It's bad.
He just seems like a fucking buffoon.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Well, he's messing everything up, making it worse. We had a Poison Ivy reappearance this week, which we find out that her mom committed suicide and she got adopted, but is kind of nuts, hanging out in the slums or whatever. The only tie-in with that I thought kind of worked was, number one, they didn't have her like water and plants, which was nice for a change. And number two is, if she's not Ivy Pepper anymore, she got adopted, maybe she gets renamed Pamela Isley.
Yeah.
To make that make sense.
I did have that thought, but I just...
All I thought was this show reminds me of it's like Muppet Babies for Gotham.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just shrunk down versions of their adult selves.
Absolutely.
They just took Uma Thurman from Poison Ivy in 97 or whatever it was and went, let's run her through the dryer.
Poison Ivy. Which
she chewed the scenery in that movie too, so it just fits.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and they just carried it over. That's fine.
Who's going to play Baby Arnold?
We had very little Jim Gordon this week.
God. I just see a kid play with ice cubes.
Really likes the ice skating.
Oh, no, it's not even that. It's like he's got the old Snoopy snow cone maker. These snow cones will be great.
It's gonna happen.
Don't say that. Please don't say that. Anyways, we didn't have very much Jim Gordon this week. We see that he goes to see Lovecraft, our supposed villain, and namesake of the title of this show this week, which it seems like every time they name a show after somebody, they're in it for like 20 seconds.
Except Harvey Dent, he was in it way too long.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But even then, he was still only in it for, 5 minutes last week?
It was way too long.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing with you there. Gordon finds out that it wasn't Lovecraft that set up this hit because he's also, a target of Copperhead as she's trying to track people down. In which case, Copperhead kills him with Gordon's gun. I don't know. There wasn't a lot going on this week worth noting. The penguin fish Falcone stuff was... Falcone's onto somebody betraying him, so Penguin's in hot water. The only notable thing was he really didn't out Liza yet.
Did you mean to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because if you didn't, that was too good.
And he's trying to keep that information in his pocket for now. Fish is still trying to put up her pretense. This was supposed to be the mid-season finale.
That's what I was going to ask. Was this was the finale, right?
Yeah.
Horrible.
I mean, to sum it all up, all the good guys convene at the warehouse, and they save Bruce and Selena, blah, blah, blah. It was a really generic story.
Like, we're supposed to be excited. Come on, January. I want to see Jim Gordon as an Arkham guard.
Right.
Who gives a fuck? There's no one in Arkham that matters. Right
they'll
there
all
will
be in
every
Arkham.
single one of them.
I know that.
There'll be children versions.
There'll be a refrigerated cell and a cell with some question marks, even though the Riddler's working for Gotham PD, and it's going to be bad.
And by the way, the Riddler hugged him.
Which, again, made,
Well,
for no reason.
Maybe that's all he needs to not be a villain. Lots of hugs.
So you're saying if Batman hugged him more?
Somebody, get that man a teddy bear.
And then we'd have Gotham babies.
Yeah.
For real.
That's what this fucking show is.
I don't know. So, yeah, I don't know. This was as far as being a mid-season finale. I mean, I did enjoy the Alfred and Bullock stuff.
Yeah.
Thought that was fun. They had the scene where they were interrogating the kid, and Bullock's wanting to, rough him up a little bit, and Alfred's just pulling out money, bribing him for information.
Yeah.
Thought that was good.
By the way, $200, motherfucker. Why didn't you hold out?
Right. Obviously, this guy's got money.
Jesus. I'd have been like, how much is in your pocket? Because you don't need to stop until you get there. All right, that's going to do it for this fucking super quick edition of Primetime Super Friends. Super quick like the flashes come.
That's the takeaway from this episode. What happens when he fucks.
So that's going to do it for another edition of Primetime Super Friends. You can find us on the web at pubtalkpodcast.com. You can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, fucking wherever you want to.
That's where they can find us, where they're fucking wherever they want to?
Yes.
Okay.
Find us on Twitter at Primetime Super. We all have our own individual Twitter accounts as well. I'm at Legendary Jeremy, Michael,
At the African 81.
and John.
At Raging Leprechaun.
Check out our other show, our better show, our funnier show, Pub Talk Podcast, which you can find at pubtalkpodcast.com or iTunes, Stitcher. Yeah, that'll do it. Until next time, stay super, bitches.
That's where this show goes when we don't have enough content to talk about.
This show would go there anyway.
I don't think at that length.
Length.
How long is The Flash? Let's go there. No.
It can't be that long, because, that suit's pretty tight.
Very true. Very true.
Have you looked that hard at that suit?
I think I'd notice a wang poking out of there. Like that blue guy on Watchmen. Just dangling.
You said poking out of there. I just picture it's like he left the fly unzip, and as he's running, it's just flapping at super speeds. Gross.
Oh, so I'm thinking about him fucking again. He just makes his dick vibrate super fucking fast as he's doing it too.
Oh, you must be wearing one of those warming sensation condoms. My God. No, just me. I'm not even wearing a condom. It would just burn right through all that friction.